Alright guys, welcome back to Chief Weekly. I'm Maddie and this is Stacey. We're from the Chief Life. Today we're going to take you through part 2 of the muscle up. Okay, so last week we had a look at the ring dip. If you guys missed out on that, make sure you check out the Chief Life channel on YouTube. But today we're going to have a look at the transition, which is coming from underneath the rings to on top of the rings. Obviously a very important part of the muscle up. So firstly we're going to have a look at our false grip position. So a regular grip would be just holding on to the ring, and a false grip, we'll see on the right hand, is where we've got the wrist bone up and over the top of the ring, okay? And you're kind of creating that platform instead of holding on just with the wrist. We're still seeing the fingers wrapped around and we've still got a full grip on. Now, the difference with the pull in this one is if Stacey comes up and over, you can see with the false grip, she can actually rotate over and then that allows her to press. Whereas with her regular grip, okay, this one doesn't have anywhere to go without having to let go and come back on. So if you're trying to do a strict muscle up, that's obviously going to be incredibly hard. So this is our false grip that we're going to keep to start with. So she karate chops the rings, she takes her thumbs around the rings, and then she wraps her fingers around the rings, okay? So she's in a full locked position here. You can see it's a closed fist. From here, she's going to take her feet directly under the ring. She's going to squat straight down onto her toes. As she does, she brings her elbows forward and the wrists stay together. As a first piece, she's going to use her legs as much as possible just to get used to the movement. So she pulls the rings to the bottom of the sternum, okay? So just into this position below the chest. Thumbs are now touching in this position. What she's going to do is throw her bum back, which will drive her chest forward. And as she does, she's going to draw a line around her chest and sink right down to the bottom of this ring dip position. Okay, so let's just see that again. We'll do it. We'll just go straight through. So straight down into the squat. She pulls up. Once she's at the bottom of the sternum, bum comes back, chest comes forward. She's in the bottom of the ring dip position. Now that's just the bare basics there, guys. We don't need to worry about the press just as yet. We can start to make it a little bit more difficult once you get used to that movement pattern of pulling in and all the way up and over. We can make it more difficult firstly by moving the feet a little further away. Okay, so Stacey takes her feet forward. She comes back. She now starts to use a lot more of her arms. So she's pulling up, all the way, up and over into position. Okay, now speed is obviously going to be key with this. If that's then becoming too easy, you can go one of two ways. First way would be to do a negative. So jumping up to the top of the movement. So this is in your ring dip, ring support, lowering down to the base of your ring dip. Feet stay off, and we're going to come up and over into the base. It's like a backward transition down into your muscle up. Okay, so a reverse muscle up. If that's too hard, you can kind of go an in-between where you use your legs as well. So you'd be coming down, feet down on the ground. Cool, so feet down onto the ground. Just that little bit of support as you come up. You will need to push back up and over as you come over the rings, back down into that muscle up support. Okay. As a last skill for the transition, we'd want to see an L sit or a strict pull from underneath. So if you've got low rings like this, we're starting to see the position with the legs locked. If you guys have got high rings, you can pull from there. But looking at the movement, we're pulling all the way up into that L-sit muscle up. Okay, so that turnover where the rings stay in nice and close is what we're really looking for with this position. Keeping them close is the key. Once we've pulled to the chest, so as you pull, we need to lean back. As you pull to the chest, we need to shoot the bum back to get your shoulders over. If you watch my shoulders, I can roll them forward without my bum coming back. Whereas if I go bum back, my chest is always going to go forward. So that's the position we need to get into as we come up and over the rings. So you've got that base of gravity in the right place. Cool. So that's our transition, guys. Go away and have a try of that. Make sure to check us out on Facebook at The Chief Life, also at Instagram at The Chief Life. And that's it. Check out thechieflife.com. We'll see you guys next week. Thank you for listening.